And hello, here we are. It is the Absolute Football Podcast, and I am here, and you are here with me. And if you've got the feeling, jump to the ceiling, because we'll be getting down tonight. One, if you want to, two, if you're going to, three, crab dribble. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm very, very good after a amazing bank holiday weekend. To be honest, I just something in the air was really, really positive this weekend. So I'm great, mate. How are you?
That's beautiful. I'm hunky dory again. It's another bank holiday weekend. I'm on gardening leave at the moment, so I'm having the longest holiday I've ever had. I'm off until the 6th of June. So I'm just gonna be kicking my heels up, and I'm sure I'll be doing stuff. I'll be doing stuff that is worthwhile. And in the chat already we've got Heather. Hello, Heather. Thank you for joining us. And Chris, thank you very much, Chris. And as you will have noticed, guys, it is not just me and Lucas. We are very blessed and honoured this evening to have a man who runs his own podcast specifically on what I think is the finest football team in all of European football. And he's done on his podcast. He's had the likes of Ryan Babel, the legend Ryan Babel on. Bolo Zenden and England goalkeeper Chris Kirkland from the Road End Pond. It is Tom. Tom, it's Tom. Thank you for joining us, Tom. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. This is a treat. This is a treat. We don't often have guests on our Monday pod, so no, don't spoil it for us. You do keep the standard diet. Someone flying the flag in the chat is Charlotte. Charlotte is poorly bad at the moment, so that is why, even though she's on like every pod every week, non-stop relentlessly, she's not very well today. So Charlotte, I hope you get better and you feel better soon. Look after yourself. Take it easy. And talking of taking it easy, Newcastle 0, Arsenal 2. Lucas, was that easy? And how did that result make you feel?
Oh boy. I don't think I saw that coming. I don't think anyone saw that coming. But it's typical, isn't it? You know what it is? It reminds me exactly the same last year. If you remember last year, we had that run for top four, and everyone was like, they'll beat Palace, they'll beat Southampton, and what was the other team? Brighton. But then they'll lose to Chelsea, and then they'll lose and it was the complete other way around. We end up beating Chelsea at Stamford Bridge and then drawing with Palace. No, losing to Palace, losing to Southampton, and losing to Brighton. And it reminds me of that again. This was the one game where everyone was guaranteed that we would drop points, and it's the one that where everyone was like West Ham, Southampton. So I don't know. We were pretty good. I think that Odegaard goal kind of like shocked Newcastle and put us in a very good position. They also had they hit the post in the first minute, I think. So it was really just whoever got that first goal dictated the game, and then Newcastle Ramsdale saved a load of chances. Granit Xhaka made 2 amazing challenges out of nowhere to keep them from scoring. Good old Granit. But yeah, I mean, it's still on. It's all you can ask, right? Really, just keep the pressure on City as much as possible, and come on, we've got to do a Liverpool this year. Take him to the end. Just take him right up until the end.
You wish. I mean, it was intense. It was very, very intense game. I mean, before we get to any more sort of analysis, Dom, if you caught that game, how did that game make you feel?
I didn't really know who I wanted to win, to be honest with you. For Newcastle, let's just say I want Newcastle to drop points just to give them a bit of a squeaky bum for us. But also, I wanted Arsenal to drop points because Mikel Arteta's an ex-Blue. So, I was sat on it hoping for a 0-0. But yeah, it was one of them. I think the class shown in the end, to be honest with you.
It was quite an explosive game. I mean, we've spoken about it off air a little bit, but you can educate everybody with your thoughts, Lucas, while you're here. There was allegedly a controversial penalty shout quite early in the game. Was it controversial, or what do you think?
It looked like a clear handball at the beginning, but I mean, after watching VAR, I think it did come off his knee. Kivior came off his knee and just brushed his hand. So yeah, I think it would have been harsh to call it. But there were so many defining moments in that first half. Like the Jacob Murphy post in the first minute was the first one, and then you had Willock pretty much through on goal again. He had that twice, first half and second half, and then the Odegaard goal. It really it was all over the place. I mean, we were kind of playing to Newcastle's tempo, which is not usually our game, but we smashed it. Yeah, Ramsdale as well was unreal in goal. So yeah, it was good.
I mean, in fairness, Newcastle not where we'd expect them to be. at this point of the season. I mean, how sustainable do you think? Do you think they're going to be keeping themselves up there and performing again then next season as well, or do you think this is people not quite figured them out?
I don't think it's going to be. I think we've spoken about this before. I don't think Eddie Howe is going to be the guy to take him to that next step. I think he's overachieved this year, but even still, I wouldn't say the football they've been playing throughout the season has been that great. I wouldn't say they play bad football, but I wouldn't say there's something that you look at Newcastle and go, they play amazing football. It's not like a Brighton or even an Arsenal or even a Man City. I don't think the style is quite there yet, and I think they'll want someone to bring in a unique style to take him to the next level. He's definitely overachieved this year. I think he's a good manager, but I think Newcastle will be stricter next year, and they'll be looking at who is the next person. So yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere. They're getting Champions League football with, I mean, what they've got like 300, 400 million they can spend. They're going to be a joke next season. Like, oh God, who knows who they're going to get? But it's not going to be good for the rest of us.
It's interesting. I mean, Heather in the chat, Dom, I'll let you guess which team Heather supports. They have King Eddie. Take a wild stab at her team there. I mean, in the summer, I mean, who would you be targeting? I mean, Dom, taking a look, they're a team that are going to potentially rob, make it difficult for us to get a place up there. But what sort of players do you think will they be able to attract the big names? You reckon?
Yeah, definitely. I think the money talks in the end. Let's be honest. To get one marquee signing, Champions League football cemented, then I don't see why not. I just think for Eddie Howe, no matter what goes on, they've probably already got one eye on who's next in, as Lucas has just said. And I think the reason for that is Eddie Howe will have taken them so far, but then they need a marquee manager that can bring in marquee signings. Eddie Howe doesn't have that track record. So if you look at a top European manager who's come in the Prem and been there and done it with a blank checkbook, I think that's frightening me.
It's unnerving. I liked Newcastle this season for the majority of the time. At this point of the season that we're looking into next year, I don't like them anymore. They've fallen out of favour with me. But
here's an idea. We've all like given them like praise for the way that they've manoeuvred the last few transfer markets in terms of they haven't just thrown money at, they haven't done a Chelsea, or even I wouldn't even say they've done a United. They've been very shrewd in their business. What if partly the reason they're doing that is because they don't want to give Eddie Howe? Why would you give a manager who you're saying, we've probably got 3-4 years before we're looking? Why would you give him loads of money to spend? It doesn't make sense, right? So I think if they do the exact same thing this summer, which I can see, I think it is, as Dom said, I think it's the case of they're going, the next manager is going to get a 250 million, suitcase of money when they arrive, whereas Howe, we're going to keep the lights on, see how far it goes, and then the next one, that's where we pull the trigger, which is it's good business.
It's intriguing. I mean, in the chat we've got Lisa. Hello, Lisa. I hope you're having a good day. And not with us today is Sam. Sam's actually, I did say off here before we came on, Sam, just how much you actually did, and I didn't realize until you're not here. But I hope you're doing well. And he's in there Eddie's getting a tune out of the school. Well, that's wonderful. Get the play on words there. What a man. What are you? But he's I like Joe Linden. I love what he's done with Joe Linden.
Yeah,
that's saved a lot of dollar as well, didn't he? And I'm gonna fly through some of the chat here because I've missed some of them. So Eddie's used to working with a very small budget. I'm glad I said budget at the end. Martin is saying, evening chops up the Janners. It is indeed. Well done to Plymouth down there. And Heather thinks perhaps he doesn't need all the cash. Maybe he doesn't.
No. It's a fair point. We don't know, do we?
Do you think, because when they first come in, they said, we're not going to splash the cash everywhere. We're going to be sensible. We're not going to be held to ransom. And they did with Botman. If you remember, they held back with Botman for a long time. That was quite a protracted transfer. Do you think that was their strategy, or do you stick to the mantra that you had earlier that it's just they don't want to give Eddie Howe all this money? They want to wait till they're better. I mean, Dom.
Oh, sorry, you're going to go to Dom.
Go. Well, he hasn't said anything for a while. He's here.
Go for it.
Sorry, you just woke me up. I'm only messing. Now, I think with Eddie Howe as well, although people say, well, Heather's saying that he's used to working with a small budget, I think that might just be a thing of trust as well, because if you look back to Eddie Howe signings over the years, he's funded our transfer windows for a couple of years at Bournemouth. So, the likes of Brad Smith for 15 million, the likes of Dominic Solanke for 25 million. crazy money on basically average players at the time. And I wouldn't be giving them a load of money right now. I will be keeping it tight, because in the long run, once they do get the marquee margin, and which will happen regardless of what Eddie Howe does, and that's the be all and end all of that situation. The money's there to spend. Now, if they spend too much money now and they waste too much money, then they're very restricted when they bring someone else in. So they've got to keep it an attractive proposition for someone else.
I mean, what do you think, Lucas?
I wonder if the two things can coexist in that they might be going, we don't want to necessarily spend significant amounts of money, but also neither does Eddie Howe. So it's kind of like, but then let's imagine they didn't have Eddie Howe. Let's imagine they had Unai Emery. If they got Emery when they wanted him, would they have, gone and bought a player for 80 million or 90 million if Emery asked for it? That's the question you got to ask. Because Ishak wasn't cheap, 60, that was quite significant, but that's a young player who was, very experienced both on the international stage and in La Liga, and they spent the money. But I think it also depends on the manager. I don't even know if that was an Eddie Howe signing, and maybe that was a club signing, but we don't know. But it's like, it depends on the manager. If the manager says, I want this player for my system, the club wants 90 million. Why would Newcastle say no if that's their manager?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, and Charlotte, she loves Eddie. At least Lisa loves Eddie. Everyone loves Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's got a lot of love. He's got a lot of love this season.
Get him the England job, honestly.
Yeah, they should do, mate. We'll come on to that. We've got Big Sam. We'll touch on him later on. But Chris is asking, but who do you think Newcastle want as a potential manager? If we start at the top, Dom, who do you think Newcastle would want? Or who would they be able to get at this point in time if they get in the Champions League?
Listen, they've got an endless pot of money, and that the reality of the situation is they can get anyone they want if they're in the Champions League, which to me it looks like they're going to be. It's going to be someone in the lines of Mourinho, Conte, potentially. I don't think Pochettino will go there personally, but I think it's one of them.
I want Mourinho just because I love him. Just because no, he's not at Chelsea. I can like him. I just want him there.
I think they'd like him as well. I think Newcastle fans would like Mourinho.
Listen, he's not going to stay at Roma if Newcastle come knocking.
No.
I thought he loved Roma. What do you mean? I've seen it. He said it, so it must be true.
He's taking Roma, right? Like, it's like it's a brick wall, isn't it? Roma, the way they're run at the moment, they're struggling a bit,
and they got crazy fans. And it's to saying Ian Holloway. Why not? what a transition.
Here's one. Why would they not go back in for Emery? Because he didn't say it wasn't a hard no, was it? It was a case of he didn't agree with it was like not right now, exactly. So why would they not go, well, he's come to the Premier League with Villa and look at that, like go and get him again?
Why would you want to leave Villa?
That's the only thing.
Why would you not want to leave Birmingham? Why would you want to leave Birmingham? Birmingham's lovely.
Listen, if I speak, I'm in trouble.
Don't you besmirch the good city of Birmingham. And this is what I don't want to have happen. Alonso, no. I've told you, Alonso's waiting for Klopp to go. Then he's going to come to us. That's
you can't be a project manager with that money and that's facilities and stability. Like you need.
It's a
Luis Enrique is there. Yeah, it's 100% going to be a big name from Howe. But I think, who else? Ancelotti's leaving Madrid end of the season probably. So there's that.
On to Brazil, isn't he?
Oh yes, but the Brazil job.
And just in one of the chats that we missed out, Heather, bigging up Eddie Howe again, got the ball for Premier League with mostly League One players, and because we're going to be going out on audio streams, if you do want to catch this live, YouTube, Twitch, but she said she doesn't have a pot to urinate in.
I remember that team. Josh King was an FPL bloody legend that season.
What a player! Absolutely love him. He was absolutely superb. But and what is this? What is this, Basami? Nobody, do not besmirch the good name of Stevie G. He doesn't want to be a manager. That's what it is. It's not that he couldn't do it.
Luckily for you lot.
He just didn't. He just doesn't want to do it. He has better money, he has a nicer life, and he did it on purpose. That is why he failed at Villa. So just Leave the man alone, and let's move on. If we all fancy a giggle, so the next one I think that we're going to look at just to brighten the mood a little bit. West Ham 1, Man United 0. What a glorious day! I mean, Dom, I'm sure you sort of share my feelings towards Manchester United. How did that game make you feel?
Lovely. Yeah. Honestly, it doesn't matter who plays them, and it doesn't matter what the score is, but if they get beat, it just makes my day. I watched it with my little boy. We were away for the weekend, and we went to watch the last I think it was the last 40, 50 minutes with the add-ons and stuff. And I wasn't expecting them to hold out. I'm going to be honest with you. United have just got that in them, haven't they? But when that whistle went, I think it was more okay. Top four's on for us. It's such a weird situation to be in. You look back at January and you're thinking there's no way we're getting in the top four, and probably even a month or so ago, just before this run went on. But might be squeaky bum time for United.
I think it just tickled me. 27 minutes that first goal was scored at the 27th minute. So I'm not going to do the quick mental math, but that's about 60 odd minutes that they had there. And I've got they logged it 4 shots on target, despite 66% possession, double the passes. And the same amount of corners as West Ham, but they had opportunity, but they just weren't as good as Moyes' West Ham, or Lucas. Am I being a little bit facetious and doing them a disservice?
No, they were awful. You're completely right. I think I enjoyed that just as much as you lot, to be honest, because nothing would make me happier than if we managed to sneak the league and Man United slip out on top 4. It would be hilarious. I mean, even if we don't, then finishing out on top 4 would be brilliant. Because it takes the heat off of us, and also I can't stand United. So, yeah, I kind of called it. I was talking to United fans before, and they're a little bit shaky. But I was like, West Ham away is not going to be an easy game for you lot. Just the way they're playing at the moment, and the way you lot are playing away from home, you're not scoring. You know, Rashford again. This is the thing. People have very short-term memories. Is Rashford? Yeah, was it 2 goals in 2 months now in the Premier League?
He's not very good. I've maintained this for a very, very long time now.
I just don't get the whole. Yeah, it's like people can't separate goals from ability in most instances, and it's like Rashford is a very good goal scorer, you know, in patches, ability wise. If he's not scoring goals, what does he actually offer for the most of the game? Not a lot. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't get the Rashford thing. I really don't. He's all right. He peaked when he was about 19 at a good level. But I mean, come on. I mean, but speaking of players at a good level, Charlotte said Weghorst is just what a signing though. I love the person that thought that's a good move. We'll boot out Ronaldo and we'll bring in Weghorst.
Awesome. Hang on. He's the greatest signing of the season. I think they should play him every week.
And Tux is Weghorst is as useful as the other 3 sides of a cheese grater. And Sam said they missed their first 30, the missed chance in the first 30 minutes had just disappeared. God, look at all this chat. I mean, thank you for this interaction. It's hard work for me to read this fast. Martin said if United had a proper striker, they would be a powerhouse. Although the performances have dropped off. His performances away, though, they can't play away at the moment, can they? And I think someone did touch on that in the chat. Is Chris there? He says the Fortress Old Trafford. They got 3 of their remaining games at home. And what else have we got? I've got so much stuff going up there. Charlotte thoroughly enjoyed our input with Weghorst. They did have a good strike. That's the thing. I think Ronaldo was a goal scorer. I mean, putting it diplomatically, he was a bit of an arsehole, granted. But we have got...
people, what do you want? Do you want, because you've now got a striker whose overall ability and works for the team in Weghorst and Martial, but they don't score goals. And that's what United fans were slating Ronaldo for, is that he scores goals, but the rest of the team suffers. Okay, so you've got 2 options now. You have a striker who scores a lot of goals and the rest of the team suffers, or you've got a striker who doesn't score any goals, but works hard and links play. Like, which do you want? I mean, both are bad, to be honest. Both of them don't work. You want someone in the middle, but it's kind of like this is not a better situation, you know, for them long term. You need to get someone who can do a bit of both. You can't just have a striker who runs around and links play and doesn't score goals. Just like you can't have a striker who just scores goals and does nothing else.
He just loves being there, though. He just loves it.
He's just there for
I'm
vibes.
just here. I'm just going to run around a lot.
It's a holiday in Manchester for him.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably thinking, how the hell have I ended up here? This is the most mental siding of my life. I'm just going to bloody love it. I'm just going to love it. I'm just going to run around like an head case and enjoy myself. It's got Vegas, reminds him of a broken gearbox, constantly in first gear. I think he's great. And of course, at the moment, if you are listening on one of the audio platforms, we are live on Mondays on YouTube and Twitch. And at the moment, it is Nottingham Forest 1, Southampton 0. The guy whose name that I'm not even going to try and say. We tried this one once. Were you on the pod, Lucas, when we tried to say this guy's name? Awani.
Ex-Liverpool, right? You should know it. He's one of your boys.
I bet Dom will smash it now.
Our knee.
Your knee?
Our knee. Me sorry. He's an ex-Red and he scored the first goal to drop Everton down. So come on, keep going.
Ex-Liverpool.
He's good. Lisa in the chat. She thinks Veghurst and McCain out, Kane and Rice in. I think everybody would take a little bit of that.
Shit, just scored again.
I know. I can't keep up. I just can't keep. Google can't keep up either. I'm trying to update this as we go along. Google hasn't updated it. Is it 2-0? Are you sure it's 2-0 now?
2-0, yeah.
Same guy.
Again, yeah.
Oh, you and me. What an effort! What an effort from your knee.
Everton back down to 17th. That's hilarious.
It's just what a lovely evening. What a lovely way to spend your bank holiday Monday, enjoying the podcast here and listening to Everton getting pulled further and further down as you're talking about Manchester United losing 1-0 to West Ham. And there's only one way to top that, really, from Everton being dropped in the relegation zone, Man United losing 1-0 to West Ham. It's talking about Liverpool winning 1-0 against Brentford. Dom, how did that game make you feel?
Twitchy, I'll be honest. It's just one of them, isn't it? Everyone says I'd love to win 1-0 every week and win the league. I wouldn't. I can't cope with this emotional roller coaster that we're on. 6 wins in a row, a few 1-0s in there recently. I still think we're defensively potentially uneasy. So 1-0 doesn't sit right with me. I'd love to get a second goal, kill the game, but again, it's another win. It's a step closer. It's a point behind United. The pressure's on them. It makes me feel good that we're winning again, I'll be honest. But I think the important thing for us is we need to finish the season well and give us some confidence going into the summer so the next season we can actually start with a bit of confidence instead of going into the season on a negative note, because the last, 6 months have been awful, let's be honest.
I've gotten so much shit on this pod. It's, you wouldn't believe. And Charlotte, you were the biggest culprit of a lot of that. She's just been bullying me. Before we dig into Liverpool a little bit, it's a special message from Rusty for Mr. Crab Dribble. He'd like to know, are you still going to the parade? You said there was going to be a parade. Are you still going?
Yeah, Charles' coronation. That's the one I was talking about. So I didn't say which parade. I said the parade might be on, but I didn't say which one. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it.
But on this game, I mean, Lucas, did you catch any of it? Did you catch any of the joys of Liverpool winning again?
I just saw the highlights on Sky Sports. You lot, I can't lie. I've not enjoyed Liverpool this season. You've not been fun to watch. You're not quite Chelsea, although Chelsea have probably been more entertaining to watch this year just because they've been awful. But you're not quite Chelsea of under Tuchel, but you've been pretty stale. But yeah, you're 1-0. I mean, you're winning, and you've tightened it up at the back as well, which is what you need to do because goals will always come in that side. But I don't know. Is there a reality where getting Champions League is not a good thing for Liverpool long term?
No.
Does it not make your owners a little complacent about the fact that you can still get in? Well, do they look at does FSG look at? We know how tight they are already. Do they look at you getting in top 4 as a successful season? That's what I'm saying.
Yes, because it brings in massive revenue for next season. That's the reality of it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an FSG in or an FSG out. I'm on the fence. I think we need investment. That's clear for us to see. But Liverpool have to be playing Champions League football. So if we get there, amazing. And then we'll see what happens. But if we get Europa League, that could be the chance of getting into the problem is that could be the chance of getting in the Champions League next season due to the fact of the investment everywhere else around us. Everyone else is improving. Everyone else is getting investment. We don't look like we are yet. So you've got to take everything what we can take at the moment.
It's been painful. I agree. I mean, I can't. What do you think's gone wrong? I mean, my thoughts have always been consistently we're tired. I think everyone's we've had a couple of hard seasons. Everyone's getting older. I don't think we've refreshed in the way that we've needed to. And that's my thoughts. I mean, Chris is in the chat. He said Salah's back scoring penalties, so that will help everybody. And just as an FYI, Saints have pulled one back. It is 2-1, but they're still losing. But Don, what do you think? What's happened? I mean, as somebody you go quite regularly, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, last season I think I went to not aways, but enough every game, including finals and semi-finals and things, and I'm just a fan, and it was emotionally draining. So getting into the last few games when there was the hope of winning the quadruple, and then you lose the league again on the final day, and then you're going into a Champions League final, absolutely mentally drained off that battle with City. It just felt like this season was, if we didn't invest, it was always going to be tough. I didn't think it would be as bad as it is, but yeah, it's been poor, and I thought the mental fatigue and the fatigue in the players physically as well at the start of the season was definitely an issue. You can't say it wasn't. The inconsistency in the side of players coming in and out, the midfield not being steady. Fabinho looked like his legs had been left in Paris.
Yeah. What's happened to Fabinho? What was? I mean, because somebody was giving me a load of grief laughing about how bad he's been. But and they say, we'd get rid. But it's one season he hasn't done well. Because I've quite liked him before now, but what's he doing?
I think what you've got to look at it as well. If he's not playing well, but then he hasn't got players around him playing well, it's easy to pick up on his position because Henderson's legs they fell off a cliff as well. Thiago, we can't even keep in his side for 3 or more games. Curtis Jones is finally having a good go, but the start of the season, if you've got no Fabinho sweeping up, you've got no defence, you've got no midfield, it's as simple as that. That position for us is so important. Also for the fact of Trent was getting so much stick, but he's used to having Fabinho or Henderson covering the right when he gets forward. That wasn't the case because he couldn't get around the pitch. So I think it's just been a mixed bag of poor decisions and poor investment and fatigue. There's no excuses coming. We've been poor. That it's as simple as that. But again, after the seasons we've had under Klopp and what we've done and what we've gone on to achieve under him, he's got so much credit in the bank to have this season. Yeah, and if we get in the top 4, that's sweet.
I mean, I'm exactly this. I mean, I think anybody that says Klopp out is a lunatic. I think and you forget where we were before. Was it 10 years ago? About 10 years ago, we nearly went bankrupt, nearly disappeared. But where he's brought us from, from the Hodgson years. Thank Lisa. Liverpool is full of fogies. I'm assuming you're talking about the team. But it's been a long time since I've been to the city. But it's an aging squad. But if you think about where we were, before Klopp. I mean, I love Kenny for what he did. Obviously, Kenny for the club before, but that was probably a bit of a misguided management attempt with some dodgy ideas going on, t-shirts worn that probably shouldn't have been worn and the likes. But what Klopp's done is just amazing. I think it's absolutely amazing, and anybody that forgets that, you need to give your head a wobble. I mean, Sam in the chat, having your attacking options with Jota and Diaz now is giving us more threat and energy. Which what do you think of the Gakpo signing? I thought that was a really weird. I like him, but just a really weird one.
I think they must have knew that Firmino was going in January. I can't give another reason for that because he's come in, slotted into that position, and you can tell he's learning from him. You can see that every game. He's getting better at his hold-up. He's getting better at his link-up with midfield. He's got a turn of pace, which I was shocked by. Because when he first come in, it looked like he was pulling a caravan. But he's getting fitter every game. And I think he's the perfect signing for us. He's got a lot of energy. And I think we need that in that position. Because once he drops deep, you've then got Salah, Diaz, Jota, whoever it is playing, running in behind, and that's where we were so successful with Mane and Salah. So I think it's a great sign, and it's another coup for me. It's it sounds really stupid, but 30+ million for a striker in our system,
shrewd business,
could be a steal.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Gakpo, when you first signed him, I wasn't on the whole hype train when he was linked with United. I think quite a lot. It was only a few United fans who, similar to Arsenal fans, whenever they're linked with someone, they're suddenly world class and the world beater. It's like Gakpo was a good player at PSV.
Yeah.
He scored a lot of goals there, and technically he's decent. And I think I didn't realize you were signing him to play striker, but now when I've seen him in your system, it works. And also I've seen him drop into like play in midfield. Like it makes sense. But then the whole Gakpo signing makes me very confused about Núñez now, because it was before it was like, okay, why Gakpo? And then I look at your team and I'm like, okay, Gakpo makes sense now because Firmino, that and he can fit in midfield. He can, if you switch to 4-2-3-1, he can play in that 10. He can play in the 3 with a 4-3-3. He can play on the wing if you really need him to. And I look at it and I go, so why the hell have you signed Núñez? Because Jota and Diaz are both better fits for your team. They're also 25 and 20, 25, 24, 26, 25. So there's question marks over that one now, I think, because even now they're all fit, it's like you're not going to start Núñez when they're all fit. Like he just doesn't start in that team when they're all fit.
I agree with you. The last few games, I really want Núñez to do well. I just think, he just brings so much like joy in the crowd. He brings like that fight atmosphere that we love at the club. But I'm starting to question, has he got a future? And I know that's really daft because we're not even that long into his Liverpool career, let's be honest. Yeah. But I just look at it and think, I don't know where you're going to play. I can't see your position. Are you going to be a second choice behind Gakpo, which gives us a different option, which is good because we've never had two sort of different options up there. But then for me, Jota's better down the middle. So I'm a little bit concerned by it. If we got 50 million in the summer, would we take it?
You spend a lot of money on a player where there's a question mark over which is not, was he 80, 60, 70, 80?
Well, it's 54 up front, and then the rest is an add-ons to get to 80 million. So if you get that money back, and he's gone, there's no add-ons that you have to pay. So I don't know. It's a tricky one because 12 months down the line, he could be a worldie. But for me, these are the things
really when it comes back to, oh God, if you bought a midfielder for 50 million. This is what I mean. It comes down to these things. It's like these are the question marks when I look at Liverpool. I'm like, what's going on there? Like,
because that was my confusion when we signed Gakpo, knowing him from PSV, how he played at PSV. When we signed him, I thought, get a midfielder instead. Yeah. I mean, and everyone was saying all the eggs are in the Bellingham basket, which peed me off. It's just the most soul destroying thing in the world.
He was never coming to you.
I don't know. I think he could have.
It was the biggest PR job I've it's one of the biggest I've seen in the last 3 years of just like you look at it, it's just why? No disrespect to Liverpool, obviously, but I'm just like a player of that caliber with the options.
Because he
just even if you look at financially, he's going to get more money. And like 6 other clubs that want him will pay more money.
Guys, I wasn't aware the B bomb was going to come into this conversation. Otherwise, I said no. This wasn't on the agenda.
Josh brought it up before me. I was waiting for it to be brought up. I was like, yes.
but that's what I thought we needed. No, that's why Gakpo didn't make sense at the time. But no, I like we got strength and depth though across that front now with Salah, Jota, and Gakpo and Núñez having them all there. That's nice, and I'm happy with that. If they're willing to invest money into it, if him not going is going to be a blocker to us investing in other parts of the pitch, then that becomes a little bit upsetting. Then, but. Yeah, I'm the same. I like him. He looks so lovely. He really enjoys himself when he's out there. He runs like a horse. He just gallops and
a lot of ground.
Yeah, and I like he's a nuisance, and I like that. I do like that. He's like a poor man's Firmino sometimes. That's what. Or do you know? He reminds me of Dirk Kuyt. That's who he reminds me of.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just not as ugly.
If he scores important goals like Dirk did, then I'm happy.
Dirk was a great player. I did like Dirk Kuyt as well when you had him.
You know what? I will tell you this before we move on. I went once. I used to have long blonde hair. I used to have hair at one point, but it was long blonde hair. And I went to a fancy dress party with my Liverpool kit as Lucas Leiva when this was
Oh, no.
like 14. I went to this party and somebody went, "Oh, who have you come as? Dirt Kite." I have never been so offended.
Put yourself
in
up
all
there.
my life. I was like, Lucas.
We get Lucas
obviously.
Lever on the shirt.
God, mate, I'm too cheap to put names on shirts. I'm a Welsh man from the valleys, mate. I thought it just would have been an assumption. Good looking, blonde. No, Dirt Kite. And Chris in the chat, Marcus Nunes is like an Andy Cavill.
Oh, I wouldn't be.
Andy
that's
Carroll
harsh.
scored that goal to knock Everton out. He was worth every penny.
But before we move on to any of the games, as we have touched on the fact that what has happened, we've gone 6 games unbeaten. And am I getting abuse in this chat? Here you go, Chris Jericho. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take a Chris Jericho. I'm a man that you'll never ever forget. But what Klopp has done, he put us back in victories, has shown that what we can do as a team, and it has put pressure on the guys above us. So I thought we'll take a quick look at the top 4 as it stands, and the race for top 4 there, because it is, when I was putting this together, it's a little bit tighter. Well, only because, right, they're closer.
You were really hoping. You were hoping for them to dispatch of Everton tonight.
Wow,
they've embarrassed themselves, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. Well, obviously, I didn't write this today. This was done yesterday, and I thought they were in for a good chance, better than Tottenham. Because let's be fair, Tottenham ain't doing anything because they're Tottenham. But what we've got at the moment, so currently in 3rd position is Newcastle. 34 played, 65 points, 32 goal. The goal difference, I love. 32 goal difference. In 4th position is Manchester United playing 34, 63 points, only 2 behind Newcastle. Goal difference of 8.
Wow.
Goal difference of 8, and then obviously we are currently then behind Man United, 1 game more, but only 1 point behind. Well, I think, have they played yet? No, they're not playing yet. So we're 1 point behind. But look at that beautiful goal difference that we've got over them. So if it comes down to goal difference, then that drubbing we gave them earlier in the league, that'll come beautifully. But I think if we got in the chat here, we should have petition to drug test Arteta's earpiece. This is very true. But let's take a look at the games. So we've got coming up at the moment. So Newcastle, they've got Leeds, Brighton, and Leicester, and Chelsea. I mean, how many points in Newcastle? I mean, obviously there's the 3 against Leeds.
9.
I don't know. I generally don't know now, because after what I saw Everton do to Brighton, what's to stop Leeds beating Newcastle now and just going, yeah, we need 3 points now. It's not the one. It's the one I probably. I mean, Leicester at home. That's that they're getting destroyed. But
Chelsea
Leeds at this point, this is survival now, because by that Leicester, by those last 2 games, I think 2 of the 3 will be gone.
I think Big Sam won the second half. You know, I don't know if you saw that.
That's what I mean. It wasn't. You know what they. I mean, they were destroyed in that first half. To be fair, but. I don't know. Looking at this, I didn't see the fixtures side by side. Looking at this, I think United. People forget United's home form is they're not losing those games. They're beating Wolves. They'll probably beat Chelsea, and they'll beat Fulham. Will be on holiday by then. Bournemouth away, but again, Bournemouth might have survived by then. So again, why? Oh god, Newcastle's fixtures. They really slipped up against us. This could get.
I think for Leeds,
turn around. Yeah,
Leeds have to win their home games, and Sam Allardyce knows that. So that is a big game, regardless of who they're playing Saturday. He needs to win that first one.
Yeah, and you can see him pulling it off, or at least a draw.
Yeah, I can see him.
And in the chat, Dax is saying Sam says Big Sam would love to stick it to Newcastle as well, which I think you would. I agree. I could see them doing something, but I think
same with Leicester. Leicester need to do something against you, but they're awful. They're so bad.
They're so bad, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like they look like they've mentally given up.
The thing is, teams that look so bad always turn up against Liverpool. So
yeah,
Leicester will turn into prime Leicester.
You got a good record against Leicester, don't you, Liverpool? They haven't really. They tend to give City a bit of trouble, but not
I
Not
think
you.
I went a year ago to their ground between Christmas after our unbelievable season, and they beat us 1-0. Salah hit the bar off a
Oh,
pen.
so
I mean, I think.
I
I
don't
mean,
know, man. Even Villa against you, that's
I think they'll be European
on
places
holiday.
by then. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm fucking hoping so.
I mean, I think I honestly see us picking up a W in every game. I see Liverpool winning all
You
of them.
reckon? You got
I
momentum
do.
now.
I do.
Yeah, I think once we get momentum, it feels like it's a bit of a Primark City. At times, City can go on a run and just demolish
Yeah.
everybody in sight. We can go on a run and demolish everyone 1-0. So, no, listen.
Still 3 points though.
If we want any chance, we need 9 points, and it doesn't matter who's in front of us right
true.
now. You should be rolling Leicester. That's the end of it. I think they're down personally.
Mhm.
And yeah,
I think we'll do Villa at home. I think we'll do Villa at home, and I think
home
Southampton
probably will win it. Yeah,
Southampton will be
Firmino's
all
last game.
Yeah, and
Southampton is
Southampton they'll be all demoralised and upset and weeping at that stage. And I think United. I want Chelsea to remember how to play football.
I think that game Chelsea will turn up in that one as well. I think.
God, I hope so. I've never wanted Chelsea to do well. I can't remember the last time.
But it's just like Chelsea, they'll probably end the season quite strong. That win against Bournemouth was actually huge for them, I think. But like, I can see Chelsea, apart from City, I can see Chelsea giving everyone a good run, for the rest of the season. So that Chelsea United game, I think, and I've spoken to United fans, they're worried about that one as well, more than the others.
Do you know what? I think United are going to get 7 points. I think we're going to get 9, and we're going to beat them on goal difference or something.
They're going to slip up in two of the 4, aren't they?
I think Chelsea are going to do them. I do think
Bournemouth, you reckon?
Oh, Bournemouth, yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah, they're bad as well. They're the good run, but I mean, you can see 3 goals to Chelsea, and now I have to I was just about to say Bournemouth might survive, and then they concede 3 goals to that team. I'm like, you know what, Bournemouth might get relegated. They might just lose all their games.
Yeah, it's I genuinely, I mean, based on this, I mean, I honestly think
United Liverpool. Based on this,
I think Newcastle could be dropping out.
Newcastle, those fixtures are not nice.
If they drop out of that is going to be up there with the biggest travesties in football. Eddie Howe might actually.
That's it. That's the trigger gone. Yeah. If they, I generally
don't think we'll ever see him again.
Yeah, that would be the excuse for him to go, right. Well, it was in your hands and you completely fumbled it. So that's
the owners will be chuffed to bits, won't they? I mean, Heather's giving Lucas some daggers for speaking bad about in the chat. And but yeah, I would see. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle don't pick up any more points, and I could see us doing it all. I'd love to finish ahead of United on goal difference. That would be awesome, because that would mean that those games where we spanked them. And we give Bournemouth.
If you end up finishing 3rd, this league is finished. Ireland scoring like 35 goals and Liverpool finishing 3rd. This league is finished. It's just
no. Honestly, I was having this discussion with someone yesterday, and I was saying, if we finish in that top 4, forget all these talks of the best league in the world.
no chance.
The best league in the world. We have been average for 70% of this league, and there's a chance we could finish in the Champions League places, and you're telling me this league's amazing? No, behave yourself.
Been a shocker this year.
And that's the thing is, that's what I've been saying consistently. When all the people getting on Klopp's back, you can never write the man off. You can never write, was it Klaas's payment and all of that jazz. And I believe there's a penalty apparently to Nottingham Forest.
Ooh. Southampton just brought it back as well, didn't they? To 2-1.
3-1.
3-1. Gibbs White.
Do you know what? With my internet refreshed as fast as yours, that'd be marvelous. But I mean, and Sam saying how United is still up there baffles him as well, because they were dreadful as well at the start of the season. But it just goes to show that you never know. That's it. That's what it tells you. But some of the other games we'll try. We spent a lot of time in the top 4, mainly because our wonderful Charlotte isn't very well. So our lower league and other league reviews are going to be really, really poor. And we're going to fly through them. Hence, we spent a bit of time here. But I mean, games for us all to laugh at, results that we'll all enjoy. Weren't there. Chelsea won a game. Chelsea beat Bournemouth 3-1. That was sad. That was sad, Bournemouth. You spoiled everybody's fun then. That was devastating. Another result that we couldn't laugh at. Tottenham beat Crystal Palace 1-0. Another team we've enjoyed laughing at.
Tottenham 1-0 Harry Kane over and over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it'll be the last season you'll probably see that, I should imagine.
I don't know. But
the man's got no ambition, is he? He's got no ambition. So he's probably going to be happy to sit there and just fail consistently. Because it's all right, because I know Pocher's going to Chelsea, in the allegedly. Is that still on? Do we know?
It looks likely.
It's blowing hot and cold, isn't it?
Mm.
I hope so. Because I love them underperforming. That'd be just superb. What do we want to do? We want to develop, move on to the next level. So we're going to manager who's proven he cannot do that. That is excellent. I just really enjoy that.
Thing is, it opens up the Kane to Chelsea again. Although I don't know, Daniel Levy won't sell. He'll charge. He'll want more to go to Chelsea. He'll be like, you need to pay even more.
I think he's nailed on to United, mate.
You reckon?
Mm.
Well, Ten Hag's definitely said he wanted him.
I think
it makes complete sense, doesn't it? If he's not going to go abroad, it makes sense. I personally think he should go abroad and just go and get a Champions League with Bayern Munich. You'll get one in the next 5 years.
Yeah, and Bayern Munich like an old striker as well. They
like
Eric Choupo-Moting.
Lewandowski was there till 35, and he, like Kane, I'd say physically can get up and down the pitch more than him. So Kane can go over there and for another 6 seasons at the top level, easy.
Even if you look at Mane's goal contributions with regards to his goals and assists, he's had like a goal contribution every other game, and he loves it.
You'll get 5 Bundesligas, 1 Champions League, and 5 DFB Pokals. There you go.
Yeah, and that's it. That'd be what he could do, or he could go to United and battle for 4th position.
But he'll break Shearer's record, so everyone will put you as the best striker of all time. It's ridiculous.
Until in about 2 seasons when Haaland beats it.
Right, so I thought this would be the funniest thing. If he actually breaks it and then Haaland, by that time Haaland's like 30 goals away and he spent his if he stays at Tottenham just to break it and he gets there and Haaland's literally like on 200, would be hilarious.
That'd be absolutely superb. And Ducks in the chat here, Kane in and Vegas would make a fantastic coat back. Well, he's going back to Burnley. Chris in the chat, Kane's only 20. Is Kane 29? I thought he was 30.
Probably 30 now.
He's been 29 for about 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's 30, same age as me, and he's a bit younger.
I tell you, you look better for it, mate. You look better for it. I'm trying to search on Google. Harry Kane.
Oh no, he's 20. Oh, he's July. Yeah, he's young. Oh my god, he's only 29. Yeah, Kane, just go. Just leave.
Chris knows. This is his last chance to do anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So mate, just do it.
Leave.
Just get some ambition in your life. Dear me. And but Heather saying in the chat, none of the fans or the place seem bothered about losing to Chelsea, and the fans are chanting, "We're staying up." That was. I can imagine the Chelsea fans were pleased at that game. That was the game that cemented their Premier League status.
This one, why isn't Newcastle? I thought about this. They got Callum Wilson and Ishak, but Ishak's been playing on the wing, and Wilson's injury prone. So why isn't Kane? I mean, why not?
I would be elated. That would be one of the greatest transfer moves in the Premier League.
He walks straight to that first team. Wilson goes to the bench. I mean, he's going to be injured for half the season anyway. Ishak can play on the wing.
And wouldn't it be fitting for Harry Kane to beat Shearer's record at Newcastle,
yeah.
move into Newcastle instead of Manchester United? Same as Shearer. That would be just theatre. That is just poetry. I like that. I like your thinking, Mr. Lucas. I
just don't want him to go to United. I want him to leave Newcastle, but I just don't want him to make United better because they'll be. Oh, they're going to be. He'll be.
I think he's the last piece of jigsaw.
Yep, I agree. In that system as well, he'll be with Rashford and stuff on either side. Like it could be brutal. Rashford and Bruno, I think, in particular, are gonna with a player like Kane ahead of them. Their goal scoring will just go to another level.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Chris.
No, I want them to be underperforming consistently.
Or he could go there and bottle it. We don't know.
Yeah, he just doesn't enjoy it.
Doesn't have the mentality.
But speaking of bottling it was Fulham 5, Leicester 3. Leicester have just bottled this. I think they've had enough now. I think they have had enough. And if you want to know all about Leicester City on our YouTube channel, we did do an all about Leicester City episode. A very, very interesting watch. But yeah, they've decided they've had enough. They've had enough of the Premier League now. And they're in 18th on 30 points, minus 15 goal difference. So they have got the advantage on Southampton, who are minus 34, Leeds minus 25, Nottingham Forest minus 30, Bournemouth minus 30, Wolves minus 20. So they've got a better goal difference than most down there. But I think they're pretty much in trouble, especially considering the other game, which is a very disappointing game from today. Brighton 1, Dyche's Everton 5.
Makes no sense. Honestly, makes no sense. That's probably the weirdest result of the season, minus the Liverpool 7-0. And even that's not that weird.
I really didn't need this result today.
It doesn't make sense, but it's like, honestly, I just don't get it. When Calvert-Lewin's in that team, they suddenly know how to score goals again.
It's a useful tactic to have, though, isn't it? He's people forget how. And I'm going to big him up a little bit here because I actually think he's a decent player. I think he's much better than them. However, he can't stay fit, and that's a massive problem. Can't Everton afford that? They can't. That's the thing. They can't afford to have a player fit 20% of the season, year in, year out, and that seems to be the case for him. And he's played against. I think the first game under Dyche against Arsenal, he played, and I thought, wow, they've missed him. Yeah. And today, bullying people again, throwing people about, physical. They've got to outball every time. If he stays fit, they're staying up.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
And he's a good manager, Sean Dyche is. I mean, in the chat, we've got Sam saying, the bit of Dyche ball, Heather's agreeing they're fighting for their lives. And Chris was saying, I didn't deserve that stuffing.
They did it in a little bit. I like Brian, but they were getting a bit too, it was like, we're holding the moment, Brian. We're putting you in top 4 races. It was like, just calm down a bit, all right?
Know your role.
Yeah. We're not going to start having top 7 chats now, Brian, so just chill out a bit.
But I mean, I like Dyche. I was saying off here to Dom earlier, I'm so torn because I like Sean Dyche. I don't want Everton to go down in the principle that it's nice to have the fact that they've got that history, but at the same time, I'd like Everton to go down because that'd be really great. And sorry, Kira, but yeah, I sort of think what's their next couple of matches? Who have they got coming up? So they're not going to win that one. They got Wolves away, and I can't
their own last game.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I think they are destined for 6 points out of them 9, and that's enough for me.
Bournemouth and Wolves.
I can't figure out Wolves at the moment either.
Same. Weird team.
I don't think they last at the moment either. But with Diego Costa still their talisman at 58, I think is quite phenomenal.
They're not good. They're not a good team. They've got some really good players, but they're not a good side at all.
But what I am going to say, I'm going to say something nice about Wolves because tomorrow we are recording an episode with the head of player development from Wolverhampton Wanderers. So, damn it, if you are watching this, Wolves, woo! Their youth development superb. It's their first 11. It's that really old team that they've got on the pitch. Yeah. Nothing to do with you whatsoever. But Bournemouth, I don't know what. Again, I think they're safe enough that I don't think they're bothered either, though, are they?
They've been steady for a couple of months. They'll pull a decent win out the bag and then they'll get battered the next 3. That's just how they've been. And I think, their manager is a decent manager, don't get me wrong, but there's going to be a couple of them players off in the summer, in my opinion. I think Neves is outstayed as well, if I'm being honest. I think he's much better than them.
Neves is linked with us. Are you having them?
No. Our problem this season has been we've got no legs. Ruben Neves can't run.
Yeah.
So why bring Ruben Neves in? He's a fantastic player. I'm not going to deny that. He's a luxury player. We can't afford a luxury player. We got laughed at when our midfield was Henderson, Milner, Wijnaldum. 3 workhorses that won us the league.
Anybody laughing at Milner needs their head read. That man is a legend. I love Milner. I would change my sexual preference for James Milner
Why is he going to Brighton?
because that's where our old players retire to, like Lallana.
It's
on
like
the
a care
bench.
home. There's a
It's the
care home
last
on the
time,
beach there.
It's like
Lallana's
Southampton to Liverpool to Brighton. That's the career.
Lallana's going to take him for a walk.
God,
they're
who
gonna
next? If
they're
Henderson follows after a few years as well.
Can you imagine?
Next year?
Yeah.
All three of them sitting on the bench on the beach having a word as original.
I agree with the Neves thing. I think Man United, of the top teams, I think Man United or Spurs are probably the most appropriate for a player. I think he'd be very good for Spurs. Same with like Ward-Prowse. I think Ward-Prowse can get up and down the pitch a bit, but doesn't necessarily need to. I think for you lot that would be.
It's a step
yeah,
back.
it's just exactly. It's almost like Thiago without as much technique and passing ability. So what's kind of the point, isn't it?
Yeah, the midfield is important for us. Not the same as what we've got. We don't need that.
No.
But I think that covers most of the matches that make sense. I mean, Chris, he would have loved Neves at United. You've got Christian Eriksen. Don't be greedy. You've got enough slow midfielders who are tactically aware. But I think that covers off all of the games of any sort of interest. Oh, and Man City beat a team. That's it. There's no news to declare.
They're making it seem like it's so close as well with these wins. It's like just piss off City. Like we all know it's not close. The score result does not dictate what the game was like. You're destroying these teams, just not scoring enough.
And again, I will still maintain the minute they figure out if we send the ball fast, Haaland can score more goals. We're in trouble. But fortunately, Pep's just an arrogant git that will just refuse.
They rotated. That was it, though. I think with them, people forget they've used the least amount of players of any team in the Premier League. And when they rotate, they actually do look a little, which is why they've slipped up. When they've got that first 11 or first 12, 13, they're destroying teams. But as soon as he changes up a bit, they look a bit slightly off the ball. And they had to because he got Madrid on Tuesday.
It's very Pep, though, isn't it? It's very Pep to do something drastic.
Yeah.
So I think he's still got one strange decision left in him this season.
Yeah. Hopefully, and against, I don't know. I don't fancy Everton now that they beat Brighton. There's less pressure. But
Everton at home will make it difficult for anyone.
Yeah. Especially at this point.
It depends how game City are. Like Everton will make that horrible. That'll be a horrible game, and their fans are 120% behind them from the off. And don't get me wrong, if they're 4-0 down at half time, they've gone. But before the game, they're great.
Yeah, but we've got Forest away as well. I mean, it's a big weekend, isn't it? Newcastle got Leeds away. We're going to Forest, then City going to Everton.
I think it's down to mentality now. And as much as it will kill you, I just think City will just destroy your hope because
they're not going to drop points. Why would they?
No, they've mentally abused us for the last 6 years.
Exactly.
It's your turn this season. We've had a season off. I've gone grey. I'm 32.
Yeah, you were close to them as well.
I think we had more seasons of performing tight up against them. This is the first time any of your players have experienced going for this, and I think that counts. But yeah, Man City won a football game. Everybody's shocked and surprised, although Pep lost the second half to Big Sam. As you all aware, this is a bank holiday weekend, though, as we are recording this, so I haven't had as much time as usual to go through all the tables and get them all updated. So everything isn't going to look as nice and pretty as it normally does as we go on to our European football. So the first thing, so I am just going to screen share because this is the fast and easiest way to do it. But before we go in, Sam wants Benzema, Real Madrid, someone to stop City winning the treble. I'm the last. Doesn't affect me. It stays in Manchester. You deserve it. But well, we're moving over just briefly. Then we're going to do these ones quite quickly. We have focused more on the Premier League and spent a bit more time on the top four because we are lucky enough to have Dom with us, and I do appreciate you coming in, Dom. But we'll try and fly through some of this European football this week. So in La Liga, Barcelona remain top. There's still a lot of red cards in La Liga. There was 1, there was 2, there was 3, there was 4 red cards. They just love it. And I don't know what minute they were in. They're normally in the last sort of minutes, just to make it more exciting. But Barcelona won 1-0 against Osasuna, with Jordi Alba scoring in the 85th minute, despite Osasuna having 10 men for like 70 or 80 odd minutes. Really struggling. I think it's been quite misleading. La Liga and Barcelona sitting so high up there. I generally can't see how on God's name that has happened. But you'll notice Atletico Madrid are second at the moment by 1 point, which is I'm not expecting that. But Real Madrid lost 2-0 to Real Sociedad. 2-0. Danny Carvajal getting sent off in the 61st minute. But at that point, they were already 1-0 down to a guy whose name I cannot say for Real Sociedad. And then a guy who also has a name that I can't say. He scored their second goal. So Real Madrid lost. And that obviously opened the opportunity then for Atletico to come and pip them by 1 whole point as they beat Cadiz 5-1. And so those are the top three. Real Sociedad in fourth position is just the strangest thing for me still to see. And I'm going to scroll down here. Hopefully this is going to work. You see Valencia is still skirting with relegation there. They're on 34th. Only goal difference is keeping them ahead of Getafe at the moment. It's sad. I mean, they drew 1-1. It would be. I mean, if you look at, you've got Espanyol down there as well. Espanyol and Valencia both getting relegated.
Seville got out of it though, didn't they?
Yeah, the retirement village of Sevilla. They have indeed. They actually won 3-2 against Espanyol. We take a look. Lucas Ocampos, Brian Gill. I'm sure that's the Brian Gill. Who did he play for? Fulham? Was Brian Gill at Fulham?
Spurs. He's still at Spurs.
Yeah,
he's on loan.
And Papagay, he scored in the 88th minute as well. 88th minute to give it a 3-2 victory. So yeah, it could be Espanyol, Valencia. They're dicing with death. They got Atletico Club Bilbao. No, they haven't. That's Villarreal. Celta Vigo. They're bound to win that one. Have they got any other big teams coming up? I shall tell you. But the thing is, they shouldn't be in this position anyway. So you think that they should be able to beat whoever they've got coming up if it's not Real Madrid or Barcelona, which it isn't. But who knows? Who knows what's going to happen there? But right, still locked at the bottom is my local team, Elche. Elche is still stone cold at the bottom of that league. I've got a funny feeling on 16 points with a good 16, 17 points gap to 19th and only about 6 odd games to play. I don't think Elche is safe. I think they're down,
Just maybe.
Call me crazy. I've got a terrible feeling that they're going to be down. So that's heartbreaking. That made me very sad. But that was the La Liga. I'm going to try and see if I can pull up the Bundesliga table over here as well. And again, I do apologise.
Dortmund, honestly.
They've fluffed it, haven't they?
The Spurs of the Bundesliga. Except they've actually won something. Yeah, they're very Spursy.
So so that's the table there. They're
going to make it 10, right? If they win it, it's 10 in a row. It's ridiculous.
You know what? It looks so promising.
Literally since Klopp was the last one to win the Bundesliga outside of Bayern.
Obviously, the man's, and people forget the work that he did at Dortmund because they were a nobody when he came over ish. but yeah, Union Berlin, they have fallen a little bit behind. They were our team at the start of the season who were gunning ahead, wrecking Bundesliga for everyone. But they lost 1-0 to Augsburg, unfortunately, pulling themselves down. Dortmund, though, incidentally, pumped Wolfsburg 6-0. Pumped them. And Wolves, Bayern Munich. Who did Bayern Munich? They beat Werder Bremen 2-1. And I think, do they play each other again? I don't believe.
It's such a league, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
It was so exciting at the start of the season. It was so exciting because you had Union Berlin were first, Freiburg was second, and I think like Dortmund were third or fourth, and Bayern Munich were in fifth for a large period of time. And it was really exciting, but Bayern Munich just spoiled it.
Yeah, but Josh, you've got ahead of yourself because Bayern were going to do that, like City were going to do that. Yeah. it's never any different, is it?
Bayern, Dortmund, Leipzig, literally every year. Once in a while, Union Berlin or Freiburg, but again, Champions League, it's going to be Bayern, it's going to be Dortmund, it's going to be Leipzig.
The thing is, if any of them finish above Bayern or Dortmund, Bayern and Dortmund will just buy their players anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's just how they roll. It's heartbreaking. But I mean, what is lovely to see, and we have been touching this consistently, is Bayer Leverkusen 6. They're 6. When
Insane
Xavi
job.
Alonso took over, they were like,
Yeah.
what were they? They were very close to the bottom, weren't they? Like 3 or 4 positions off the bottom.
They were severely
And-
underachieving. Like, not to take it away from Alonso, he's done really well,
Yeah.
but they've got
Yeah.
some quality players in that team.
Yeah.
Don't you dare take anything away from Xavi. He's the most beautiful
That
human being I've
Diaby
ever
guy's
seen.
going to be. There's going to be a bidding war for him.
Yeah.
This summer.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
But they lost. They lost this weekend. They lost to Cologne. They lost to Cologne 2-1. That was deliberate.
This is because Spurs have got in touch with him. Spurs
Yeah,
got in touch
exactly.
with Alonso, and Spurs
Yeah,
once Spurs
balled
touches
it,
you, that's
yeah.
it.
Well,
Don't do it, Alonso. Don't do
he
it.
was trying it out. You know, this is what it's like to be Spurs manager. Oh, drop
Don't
one.
do it.
So that was it was a shame that he lost one, but still, what an incredible job that he's got. And down the bottom, we got Hertha Berlin, right at the bottom, Stuttgart, right at the close
Go
to
on,
the bottom.
Schalke.
I know
They can
Schalke are
survive.
pulling themselves away. I mean, they beat Mans 3-2 on Friday.
That's huge.
They beat them 3-2, pulling themselves up there. Look at that beautiful form they've got. It's so consistent.
I've
But
been
they've
to
won.
that Hertha Berlin Stadium as well. It's incredible. That'd be such a
Yeah.
shame if they go down.
It is. I like Hertha Berlin being in the league. It's nice to have the capital team up there. But I mean, it was Schalke. I was nervous about, but Stuttgart aren't exactly playing particularly well. They actually
Not
lost to
Princess
Hertha
Glory, are
Berlin
they?
2-1.
There's a few heavyweights down there, though, isn't there?
Yeah, there are some big clubs.
I
Werder Bremen aren't. I mean, they're probably okay, but that's really low. Augsburg as well. Bloody hell.
I mean, Hoffenheim are always there or thereabouts, but
Yeah,
Schalke,
pretty much.
Schalke, Stuttgart, and Hertha Berlin. That's a sad thing. And I mean, and Ducks in the chat. The Schalke back from the dead. They're the modern day
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
Because they looked dead and buried at one point there. And I think shall we do League One? I don't think we'll do League One because that is pointless. That is a league that
Well, the Lens are they're behind. They're keeping the pressure up for the good of football. For the good of football. Marseille lost to them, didn't they? And then it was, I think they're about 3 behind. And obviously the PSG fans are not happy. They're not happy at the moment.
Did you see that video? Did you see the video of Messi? That Messi looked like he had a gun to his head while he was apologising.
The Messi hostage video.
Yeah.
And what
was
I
such a
didn't
hostage.
And you know what I didn't understand was he was saying, it was a holiday, it was already booked, it was a trip. I couldn't cancel it. Why? Because you lose your deposit. Do you know what I mean?
Or you, Messi.
Do me a
But it
favour.
sort of felt like every word he started with spelt help.
That was a strange video. What a strange season. But yeah, no, PSG won, didn't they? They still had to play. Oh, boo.
I've got no sympathy for Lionel Messi though. None at all. He made his bed. He can lie in it.
He's just been fined 2 weeks' wages. He's going to move to Saudi in a few months' time and get a 320 million signing fee. Do you think he cares? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So 2 weeks' wages, the equivalent to a third world debt. But that's nothing to that, man.
You'll literally get that back in what, like playing for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
like, literally before the first throw in, he'll have got that money back.
It's just not right. It's not. But if we pretend PSG aren't there we are. What a very excited league that is now. So Lens on 72 points.
Lens
Marseille
amazing season.
They are. I don't know who they've got playing for them of any sort of interest.
A couple of players of note, like noticeable.
I mean, I'm looking at their lineup. Nothing. I mean, they got a Samba, but he's a goalie.
Seko Fofana is the big. He was in the France squad at the World Cup. Bryce Samba in goal. So yeah, but that's it. I don't know any.
One player of a team does not make, man.
This is true. I've not heard of any of these guys. Oh, Masdio Haidara, but that's not even Football Manager. But Seko Fofana is probably.
But then Sid beat Marseille to cement more of a position in second place, and but Marseille.
You mean Arsenal's B team?
Yeah. Well, you got
basically
Dimitri
Brighton,
Payet.
Yeah. But how Brighton are to Liverpool is how Marseille are to Arsenal now. Like it's a graveyard for Arsenal players now.
Dimitri Payet, Guendouzi, he came on, he had the game. Alexis Sanchez.
Alexis Sanchez, yeah. Revived.
Oh my god.
And is that Kolasinac?
Kolasinac, yeah. They've even got Nuno Tavares in there as well.
This is so Arsenal.
Yeah. Alexis Sanchez actually been really good from this season. He's obviously just lost his pace, but he's actually looked, technically pretty solid.
Nice of him to turn up.
After, the world's worst transfer in history, in which both teams lose.
Nuts.
But but that's and it is the league with some of the best names in there. Clermont's foot. How did their foot do? Clare's foot. They drew 1-1 with the air, and Lorient beat Brest.
Hawks here a bit low.
They are touching cloth with the bottom.
They really are.
Angers, I think Angers are very angry that they're going down there as well. But that's League One. But I tell you what, I haven't checked out in a while. Incidentally, in the chat, Heather, he's an objectionable little man. Lionel Messi, the best description of Messi I've heard.
I'm so glad that was about Messi and not me.
I thought that was going to be about me. I thought, because I've done such a poor job in preparing everything for today. But it's bank holiday. It's bank holiday. So give the man a break. But over to the league that we all felt was done and dusted, but with stuff going on that I never know where we are one day to the next. Serie
I think it might be done and dusted. This was a huge weekend. So obviously Napoli sealed it 1-0 over Fiorentina. Momentous, honestly, 30 years since they last won the Scudetto? Brilliant season. I wonder what happened again. This summer window is going to be. There's going to be all kinds of movement going on. I don't think
Osimhen's gone on.
But Osimhen is the one I think is possibly up for grabs. If you're looking at the best striker in Europe outside of Haaland, just in terms of numbers and overall play this year, he's definitely there.
I'd go with Kim as well, the centre back, 40 million release clause.
Quality, yeah. They've got good players. But no, I think it was 6 of the top 7 played each other this weekend.
Wow.
With 3 games to go. So it was pretty, it was pretty much do or die here. And unfortunately, Roma and Atalanta, Roma at home lost to Inter, but again, they're in a semi-final of Europe. It's Mourinho. He doesn't care. Give me that Europa League. He's gonna go all in for that Europa League. And they're probably, in my opinion, they're probably the favourites, even over Juve, of the teams that are left. Inter getting into that top 4. Milan did win, but they're slightly behind. They beat Lazio. I did think Lazio were the ones who were going to drop off, but they maintained it. But look at their form over the last 5 games. Lazio, the 2 Milan sides are right there. Obviously, they have got Europe to play. I think Juve are cemented, but the two Milan teams, I think, I'm not convinced by Lazio if they're going to get it over the line in the end. They've only got to slip up 2 more of the next 4 games. But yeah, I think Roma and Atalanta, it's done now. Roma are focused on Europe. Atalanta haven't got enough. But yeah, it's really Inter or Milan for that to basically take off Lazio. But yeah, I'm not convinced by Lazio. I don't know who they've got to play, but
it's crazy that Juventus got points. They got docked points and they dropped right down.
It's ridiculous.
Just for using a brown paper bag, but then they've managed to get second just by using a brown paper bag.
It's just a remarkable turnaround. Who said money can't buy you love?
I love the Italian league. I always have. It's always been a big thing of mine growing up. Go Lazio, all this stuff. But
oh god, yeah,
it's laughable, isn't it? It's just
this year it's gotten a bit more. I'd say it's gotten a bit more respect because of how competitive it's been this year. And
I think Napoli have done the world of good for Italian football, to be honest, because they've put them on the map again. In my opinion.
They've used the core of foreign players as well, which you don't usually get outside of Juventus, at least. And they've
Inter and AC have just somehow got into a semi-final.
Inter and AC, I think this year they said defensively. I don't know if have you got goals against?
Goals against.
It's not Inter. Amazing. I think it's like the turn of the year. Inter and AC. The saying is they've brought back Serie A defensive. Defenders again, they're proper defending for their lives this year. So you're getting some actual proper defenders in Serie A again. But I mean that semi-final, that's going to be. It wouldn't. Yeah, if it was one of those teams I wouldn't traditionally watch, but that's going to be intense. And it's the last game at San Siro.
Imagine being in that ground for that game.
Whew, it's just going to be the atmosphere. That's going to be. Yeah, not it's gonna be better than City Madrid.
Do you know what? I know this is off topic, and I'm sorry to bring this up, but I couldn't go to that semi-final knowing someone was in my season ticket seat. I'd be livid.
It's
a
sad
nightmare, that game.
yeah. I mean, the stadium's a DOS house, though, isn't it? It stinks of piss.
yeah, it does. There's holes in the floors.
It's not great, is it?
I mean, it's great, and I think it's great for the two clubs as well. What they're actually doing, the fact that they're actually getting it done. I think that's really good. But it's a shame to lose a stadium like that, though. But at the same time, but. You know, when it reminds you of your sort of local bus station at the same time, I think it needs to be done. Sampdoria down there, though.
That's the one I was going to say. That's a shocker. They were Europa League, I'd say, like mid top 10 sort of side for quite a while. But yeah, they've had a bit of a stinker this year. So Sampdoria, I'd say Empoli are probably, and Sassuolo haven't had a great year at all as well. But they've had troubles off the feed for years, I think, Sassuolo. But players-wise, they've always had a stable crop of like really good quality players, Sassuolo. So they've had a really poor season. But yeah, Sampdoria on 17 points is mad. So it looks pretty set. I think that bottom three is kind of, give or take Verona. I think Verona are probably all right. Lecce, they've got very tough fixtures as well. They've got to play quite a few teams near the top. So I think Lecce. Yeah, it's Lecce or Spezia really for that last spot, but Cremonese and Sampdoria, Cremonese can't win a game pretty much. They're barely scoring, and Sampdoria they're finished. And they're already gone.
We need an Italian to reel out these names. It's so much sexier.
Just get like a Chat GPT voice next time.
It's like Cremonese,
like a sauce, isn't it? But I mean, we're going to move on to the lower leagues. We will, like I said, we're totally unprepared for this because this was going to be Charlotte and Sam's baby. So I'm going to try and do this a little bit of justice. But let's try. I'm going to bring up the championship table. Let's take a quick look. Burnley are up. Has any other promotions been secured? Do we know anybody?
Yeah,
Sheffield United.
They're not fancy away days, I'll be honest with you, but I'd really like to see Sunderland come back up again. You know,
I think it's going to happen. I think the fact that they snuck in there, I think Sunderland are going to do it.
I'd really love to see that Newcastle Sunderland game again.
Yeah, I think they're actually going to do it. I'm not convinced by Luton or Coventry in a playoff, but it's Sunderland or Middlesbrough. I think. So it'll be Luton versus Sunderland, Middlesbrough versus Coventry.
Yeah.
So I can see Sunderland, Middlesbrough final.
I love the fact Coventry's up there.
Coventry 1-0 with Middlesbrough today as well. I think it was at. I don't know where it was at, to be honest, but that's a tricky one.
I love the fact that Coventry are there, considering where Coventry were at the first part of the season. I think that is superb. I mean, you got Sam to the chat. Millwall 3-1 up.
Yeah,
that's crazy. 3-4. They're close though. They've been close for a few years, though, haven't they, Millwall? They've been around the playoff spots, but just haven't. I'll tell you what, I'm happy those two in 11th and 13th are nowhere near it. Thank God.
Yeah. I was so bored of watching us turn it apart. And I was so bored of Troy Deeney at Watford turning into prime Ronaldo. R9, by the way.
I
mean, Heather said, "What about Luton? What about Luton? Somebody tell me something about Luton."
But they've dropped off for the last 5. They haven't been great towards the end, but they secured enough points really, so it might have been that. Sunderland have been there before. Middlesbrough have been there, but these guys have got the heritage is there. I'd say in terms of coming to the Prem, I think, and the way Sunderland have just snuck in there. I fancy a Sunderland Middlesbrough final, but I would like to see Coventry, to be honest. If I had to pick one, I'm happy with all of them, to be honest, coming up.
I would. I mean, I'd like Coventry to come up. I've got family ties in Coventry, and that'd be lovely for them to come up. Although it's going to make games more expensive when I go there, make parking more hard work.
Luton's good for all of me because more London clubs is always better. Less travel for away games.
Yeah, but have you seen the entrance
in
to
the ground? Yeah, if you can call it an entrance, I won't be going to that away game. That's for sure.
It'd be hard enough to get a ticket. It only fits about 12 people, doesn't it, in the away end?
Superb. But of course, I mean, relegation. So you got Wigan, Blackpool, and obviously Reading. Reading, I believe, were confirmed today as well. I sort of wanted Cardiff to go down, but they didn't unfortunately. But it's sad for Reading, obviously.
It's just me or Rotherham again. I swear Rotherham get relegated every year in the Championship, and they're always there.
This is. I seen a stat the other day for Rotherham. This is the first time they've gone up and stayed up in the Championship. They've been a yo-yo club every season for the last 6 or 7 years. It's mad.
That bottom like 10 is insane. I mean, look at the teams in there.
It's I love the fact that Norwich did so poorly. But obviously, I'll have been up Stoke City, Birmingham, Huddersfield. Fair play to old Snake Lips, Mr. No Eyebrows. I don't believe in eyebrows, Warnock. Fair play. What a shrewd move it was.
Those last 3 wins. Look at that.
I just what a hero. I bet he was loving it. I bet he was absolutely loving it. I mean, he's a right cocky arsehole to have in the stadium there. But well done, Mr. Warnock. Very shrewd move by Huddersfield. It'll be interesting to see what they do if he's going to stick around, because I believe he was only until the end of the season.
Yeah, he's actually said no already. So he'll be back there in April next year.
And I mean, I'm in the chat. Some notes just coming through. Heather was saying it's good for going to the fact that they also got kicked up to the ground. Then they played in Birmingham, and then they were allowed back in. So that's very nice. I think it would be fun to have Luton because of their ground, as you guys touched on, and the entrance is very unique indeed to get in there. And I think the next league I'm going to try and bring this in. So you're going to see my Google search pop up in a moment, but the next one is
brave move.
It's all right. I'm pretty good. Let's try out the Sky Sports for League One. So promotion confirmed for Plymouth Argyle. I think that's bloody brilliant. And look, we've even given you adverts for Sky Bet on the side as well.
Can I just touch on that one? Yeah, just a little story about Plymouth. So Stephen Schumacher I've knew for a long time from his Everton youth days, and he's gone there and no one gave him a chance at all. And what he's done there is unbelievable for Plymouth. Like the form, the wins they've had, and how they've done it as well. The attractive football that they've played. Don't get me wrong, I don't watch them every week, but I think Stephen Schumacher's done an unbelievable job. So I just wanted to take me hat off to him. He's a local lad to us, obviously, so it's always good to see that.
I love Plymouth. I love the fact they're up there. I love the fact that people are going to moan about the travel to go down there, but the food's immense. So just enjoy it. Ipswich, I'm assuming Ipswich are automatically going up as well, which is it's nice for them, I suppose. But that is a jungle trek. You want to complain about traveling to a location?
That was a terrible promotion.
Although, just a little fact on Ipswich, hell of a lot of electric car chargers in Ipswich.
I'll have to buy one of them first.
There's an awful lot. I went to a Lidl and there was about 20 electric car chargers in Lidl. And I don't want to besmirch the shoppers of Lidl, but I think 20 might be a little bit extreme for what the requirements are there. But I have no idea if anybody knows anything about the matches and for the playoffs, Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, Bolton, and Peterborough. I don't know what's going on, who's playing who, what, why, where, when, why, who.
Would it be Sheffield Wednesday and Peterborough and Bolton and Barnsley, or am I wrong there? I have no idea. I don't know how the format works. I can't even remember, to be honest with you, but you'd probably say Sheffield Wednesday and Bolton are favourites.
It's going to be Peterborough, Sheffield Wednesday, Bolton, Barnsley.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, I think teams are going to play each other. Somebody's going to win, and one of them are going to get promoted to the league. That's my prediction. You heard it here first. And Peter telling us he's obviously did his prep ready for his episode. Peter jumped in and Derby lost. Derby dropped out.
Derby just continuously follow bad luck, don't they?
Yeah, they're cursed.
I did enjoy that. And going down, Milton Keynes Dons. Did anybody see the abuse that the Milton Keynes Dons owner was getting in the car park? Where they what do they say that you made up club, you make believe football team? So that's a shame. I always like Milton Keynes Stadium because there's lots of good eateries around there. There's a fabulous Turkish kebab shop as you come out on the right hand side, right in the corner, superb. But that's a shame. But it just means the games will be more affordable. Morecambe go without, and Accrington Stanley and Forest Green Rovers. And the league that we always like to. And Kate, I will bring this up in the chat. Somebody who's done his prep. It's Sam. Cambridge won and survived by 1 point. 1 point above Milton Keynes Dons. Well done, Cambridge. Much nicer city as well, I believe. If we put the League Two table, then we've got Leyton Orient. Well done, Leyton Orient. Steve, I don't know who gets promoted on here because the Google table isn't as good as the Sky table, so I don't know what's going on there. We'll try and pull that up there, and let me see if I can pull up the Sky Sports table as well, because that'll look a lot nicer. Very professional show this evening. I hope you're all thoroughly enjoying it. Chris in the chat, very pleased for the Cobblers. But in League Two, Leyton Orient, look at all of that. That's immense. That is. I like a bit of that. Everybody's telling me now. Just leave me alone. I don't know. I did no prep for this. This wasn't meant to be my bag. This is meant to be Shah and Sam. But Leyton Orient, Stevenage, and Northampton. I like a bit of Northampton going up.
Well done to Stockport, by the way. Wow. They've come up from non-league.
I mean, that's spoilt by Salford being there. That sort of takes a shine off League Two for everybody. But hopefully they're going to get pumped, and then they're not going to get it. But who are we thinking out of them three? Don't say Salford City.
Salford. No, listen. I just want a glass of wine and a Gary Neville gift for when they go out. So yeah, anyone but them.
I'm exactly the same. I would like Stockport. That's what I would like. I would like them to knock out Salford first, and then we'll scroll down this end. And it is, unfortunately, it's Hartlepool and Rochdale. And Charlotte's been very upset about this for a long time. And there's nothing more to say. It is what it is. And sorry, Shah. But you'll enjoy it next season. We get to cover another league in the podcast. That'll be a lot of fun. And Sam saying in the chat, Mark Hughes, Gary Neville final. That would be absolutely stupendous. Yeah. Bradford, Salford. That'd be great. And Mark Hughes, did everybody see Mark Hughes fighting players on the pitch? Yeah. Superb. The man's still got it. He's still got it. Some of that Welsh fire that he's still happy to go out and have a punch up with his players on the pitch, even in League Two. What a hero. And yes, unfortunately, Rochdale and Hartlepool down. And that brings us to the end. We've covered everything. Anything interested in football, we've done it. It's done. Football completed it, mate. We're done. But massive thanks to everybody for dropping in. If you're listening to us on audio, thank you very much. Please remember to like, follow, and all that wonderful, good stuff. And we have been very blessed to have Dom with us, stepping in. I think I asked Dom Saturday. Was it Saturday? I asked you if he could step in. So it's very last minute. So I really appreciate you coming in. And in case you missed at the start, Dom is the host of the Road End Pod, dedicated Liverpool podcast. He's had some fabulous guests like Ryan Barble, Bolo Zend, and Chris Kirkland. There's other big names that I'm missing out as well. He had a wrestler on as well, a female wrestler on. Superb. Look at the variety that you've got there. And
it's a big variety.
And if people want a bit of Scouse variety in their life, where can they find you, Dom? Where art thou?
So it's the Road End Podcast, pretty much on every social media platform, and it's in your face a lot. So Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, the usual. And then on Twitter, Instagram, it's the same, the Road End Pod, at the Road End Pod. Just touching on it, it's not all about Liverpool. There's probably a 5 or 10 minute section. The rest is about their careers and finding out about them and how they've enjoyed playing professional football, coaching, being a physio, things like that. And there's a lot of mental health talk in it as well. That's why I started the podcast anyway, for my own mental health. And it sort of stemmed from there, really. So, you don't have to be a big, massive Liverpool fan to enjoy it. It helps. But yeah, it'd be nice to have people about.
And you've got a bit of love there from others. So please check Dom out. follow all of his socials and check it out. It is really good. I re-listened to the Ryan Barber one the other day, and he was brutally honest about his relationship with Rafa Benitez. That was very enjoyable. But that was a good. But make sure you check Tom out. Thank you very much for joining us and give him all the follows. And Lucas, everybody probably already follows you, because why the hell wouldn't they? But just in case they don't, where can they find you?
Crab Dribble on Twitch, streaming Football Manager. I think I'll be doing a Madrid City watch along tomorrow, and Crab Dribble on TikTok and Twitter as well.
He's tickety tock, the tick to talk, and I'm FMFO_official everywhere. If you really got some sort of strange masochistic tendencies, you can follow me and find me absolutely everywhere. And because I can never remember our own podcast handles, because when I created them, I made them like God creating the earth and creating people. I made everything unique and different, and to make it more enjoyable. So our Twitter is @AbsoluteBallPod. The TikTok is @AbsoluteFootballPod, and Instagram is @AbsoluteFootballPodcast_. So you can find us there. But I'm sure if you just type in Absolute Football Podcast, you will find us, because we are there. If you look for us, if you build it, we will come. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you've all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time, and trust the process.